team. Rank high on Google, hook better leads. HookAgency.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? I am excited to chat with you today about some basic SEO settings that you can do on your website. We're going to walk through in RankMath. There are other plugins, there are other things that you can do, like let's say Wix or something like that. But a lot of the principles are going to apply here, which is one, that you want to have some kind of SEO plugin or tool on the website, that you want to make sure thin and duplicate content is de-indexed, that you want to make sure there's a meta title set up for your homepage, and that you have 500 words of content on every single page. So I'm going to talk you through this today. I like sharing as much as I possibly can on this stuff. I am not necessarily doing this every day now, but it's certainly something that I've done a lot of. And I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to walk through this. So I am going on this website, Johnny Tree Services. The last video we just set up, we actually created a website, a basic website, in about an hour. And I've taken a couple hours in between now and then. I've since updated the settings in here and made sure that at least it's like the images are related to the business. And I did spend some time on this. I probably spent like 2 or 3 hours making sure that the images relate. And I started a few things just so that we didn't spend the whole time doing really basic stuff on these videos. I want to note that you will need to, in between these two videos, if you watch the first one, you will need to spend time changing out images, changing out text, making sure that the colors match your business and things like that on these themes. And there are a few things, like when you're doing a WordPress theme like this, there are a few things that are going to be a little bit more, you just need to pay more attention to if you're setting up a plugin for SEO. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go install this plugin. I prefer the plugin RankMath, and we will go back here to the back side of our website. We're going to go to plugins. We got to find plugins. Boom. And we could say add new plugin. Search plugins, RankMath. Another common one is Yoast SEO, and both of those are fine. And all-in-one SEO is another decent one. I like RankMath. Originally, the reason why I love RankMath is because Yoast kept on making everything premium, like costing money, and RankMath was still free. So yeah, basically I liked it because of that. It's just a little bit more of an advanced plugin if you want it to be. So then we will go down to RankMath SEO here on the left side of the screen. Click that, and we're going to set this up. I'm going to skip this now. We're not going to have a RankMath account. You could go easy, but for this tutorial, we're going to do it advanced. There's just a few settings that I want to make sure to do on here. So this is some basic SEO setup here. Johnny Appleseed Tree Service is a small business site. Basically, it's just going to give different options and maybe a little bit of a different schema setup based on what you choose here. Schema is just a little bit of code on the back end that tells Google what this is. Home and construction business. Let's see what we have. Home. No, it's that. I don't know if there's a. We're going to see if there's a tree service. I'm almost guessing there's not. Home and construction business. You want to see if your type of business is under here. And if it's not, then choose the overarching category. Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. I'm not going to do an alternate name. Organization name is Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. For the logo for Google, I'm going to update this. In the meantime, since the last video, I did some like alternative versions of the logo. So I'm going to put our logo in there. And I do think it actually does make sense to set up a social share image at this point. So I'm actually going to share my full screen. We're going to set one up, and maybe what I would recommend. This is a hypothetical business, so it's an interesting scenario for me to try to do this under, but I am going to set this up here. Remove this for now, present the whole screen. Present. Share screen. Do the entire screen. Boom, boom, bap. Oh, God. Excuse me, guys. All right. So I am going to create a social share image. What is it recommending here as far as social share images goes? 1200 by 630. So I would go to either whatever my preferred photo editing tool is. Some of you might be using Canva. Some of you might be using Photoshop. I personally like Photoshop, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to say new 1200 by 630. This is so whenever you share it on like Facebook or something like that, it doesn't come up with just nothing. Let's see if at least we can put the logo on there. I'm going to go with my original kind of image and vibe here. I think if I had a real business called Johnny Appleseed Tree Service, I would probably put like a BBB and like a Google 5-star logo right there, just to like kind of every time somebody shares it, get that positive brand impression. For this particular situation, I don't think that's gonna, like I don't have those ratings and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just maybe center this and make sure that there is some space around it so it's not taking up the entire screen. So then I'm going to export this. We'll probably do it as a JPEG because it's a little lower loading amount. Johnny Appleseed share image. Boom. And then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to add it. Johnny Appleseed share image. Boom, bap. Bang, bang. Make sure to, every time you do this in here, this is just always, I'm going to remind you of this like every single time. Make sure to set the alt text because that's how Google reads stuff. And we want them to read as much of our website as possible, even to the point where I put keywords in there, and I prefer it that way. It's a little bit aggressive. We're not going to connect the RankMath account this time. So this is where I'm going to start to have you pay attention. Obviously, you want, not obviously, but you'll want to have this set, XML sitemaps. Yes, we want that. This is kind of your preference. Do you want to include images from your post content and sitemaps? This helps your search engines index your images better. That's a choice on your part. But this is where you're going to have, I would say public post types is where I'm going to have some opinions here. And I think you should do it this way. You should look on the front end of your website and actually figure out, what do I actually want Google to index? Because if you have it index everything, it could be actually bad for your website. So for instance, we want to de-index thin and duplicate content. So if I go back to you know, like the front side of this website, I need to figure out what kind of posts need to be indexed, what kind of things need to not be indexed. So for instance, you could decide once I kind of look at this, what kind of post type this is. It's a portfolio post type. You can see in the URLs, and this is put in there by the theme. You could decide that you want to or not, you want to not include this in the sitemap. I have, because it's thin content, I am deciding to de-index it in that moment. I'm going to go down here to services, and although these are technically thin content at the moment, the plan is to build them out there. So I am going to index these because I want all my services to be set up so they are indexed from the get. So for instance, so I would say public post types, we're probably not going to have the portfolio. This site does not have e-commerce, so we don't want to have products. We definitely want pages indexed. We are not using team right now. We don't have a bunch of our team that we want indexed. You could make the decision that you do want to show up for your teammates' names. Only check the ones where you're going to have at least 300 words, but more like 500 words per each page in general. So I am not going to build that up to that extent right now. So I'm going to de-index that. We do not want layouts. And for now, I'm going to not make landing. Well, let's look at it. What is landing pages on this theme? These are the types of decisions that are pretty important actually in your site's SEO, is making sure layouts. What is layout? Just checking what these are, right? On this, because every theme's a little different. This is like an internal thing. So we do not want that to be on here. We don't want layouts. How about landing pages? Where are those? What is that right now? Landing pages. When in doubt, unless it's like something that's obvious, like page, posts, that type of thing. In general, my default is to get rid of it. It's, obviously if I'm using landing pages, I don't want that to be the case, but if I'm not using it, there's probably a bunch of stuff back here that's in these themes, in these commercial themes that should not be indexed. You want to de-index as much of it as you possibly can, and then leave the things that you know you're using, like posts, services, pages, etc. Public taxonomies. This is definitely a possibility of something to uncheck. Let's see, categories. I think for our purposes, we don't have any blog posts on this. And I like the main index of blog posts to be the one. I'm going to actually de-index that for now. This is certainly to your choice. If you're going to be using blog categories a lot, in a lot of small business cases, categories is going to be something where you are, it's going to be duplicate content. We want, because a lot of the categories are going to be similar to the main blog page. So for now, until we have a ton of content, we're going to not have that in the sitemap here. So I'm going to save and continue. All right. Next up, no index empty category and tag archives. That is a good thing. No follow external links. So in general, if you no follow an external link, it means this link is, you're not supposed to give it any benefit from this link. Do not follow this link. And there are certain situations where that makes sense to do, but in general, you don't want to do that for all of your external links, or it might look spammy to Google. Open external links in new tab or window. I would say that is optional in this case. I don't think it's necessary for my purposes, so I'm going to turn that off. Certainly something you could do. So this is really the basic setup here. Our site is ready. Look at that. We got 100 score. I'm going to auto enable the update of the plugin, and then we're going to go to some advanced options and see what's there. Role manager, if you're a single owner business or you don't have a ton of help on this stuff, I wouldn't worry too much about this. So we're going to skip this for now. 404 monitor. You know what? I actually like that a lot on this. One, because it will tell me if people keep on hitting a page that, like, let's say didn't get redirected or something like that. I like to know that, and then I can redirect that. And I'm going to set up redirections in this plugin because it's a really nice feature on RankMath. Redirections allows us to say, if we put on Instagram or something, hey, go to, johnnytreeservice.com/offer. And then we could redirect to a longer URL, which is really nice. And you can, if you get rid of a page, you can redirect it, which is very important. If you do remove pages and switch it to a different URL, you want to redirect it every single time. Schema type. Let's look at schema. You heard what I said before as far as schema. Schema is just a little bit of code on the back end that gives more information to Google about what it's looking at in the code, right? Google is a robot. We're going to we're going to give it as much information as we possibly can. Schema type, let's say on article for post. That makes a lot of sense. You could also, I think there's a blog post. No. So article is the one we want. Boom. Oh, there it is. Article, blog post, news article. Yeah, we're on the blog post side over here. Schema type for pages. Let's see if there's a better one. Pages is generally going to be a service. You could do either one of these. For our purposes, most of the pages are going to be a service. And same with the landing pages in our case with a small business. Most of the pages, that would be a service. Schema types for products, product. We're probably not going to be using that. Once again, this is why I don't prefer commercial themes. In our case, we have a bunch of extra things here that are not necessarily going to be, they're not necessarily going to be used. And so we have all this extra code with a commercial theme that we're not necessarily always going to use. And I just want you to know that that's not ideal. It's not ideal to have all this extra code, because then we might be loading some of that. And so, like, I like from scratch themes for that reason. They stay fast, and then we only are loading the things that we want to load, not loading, like in this case, like this theme came with WooCommerce. Why? I don't know. I'm going to answer Phil questions here. We got Phil Pratt from SiteView. What's up, brother? If we wanted to use blogs, what frequency would give us the most optimal results? So blogging, it's really important because 93% of the internet has zero traffic, right? 93% of your blog posts have zero traffic. So I want you to note that blogging by itself is nothing, but blogging plus keyword research and writing and making resources for things that people are actually searching for is money, because one, more people will link to your website, and two, you get topical authority for other things you want to rank for. Just wanted to note that you need to pair it with keyword research. I like 1 to 2 blog posts a week if you're going to be blogging. And as we go through these basic settings, I just want to note the series is going to do a video every week or two, and it's going to be about how to do your own SEO. So I'm going to teach you guys how to, and if you have time to do it, I strongly recommend it if you're a small business. This is a good use of your time if you're an early business owner, to make sure your website is indexed and clean and giving, is actually, people can find it on Google, right? It is an important thing. I just want to check real quick on the live videos. I'm just seeing if there's any other comments. Feel free to comment. I'll try to shout you guys out. Casey Cornell says 404 monitor is the most underrated report. I also love it, especially for larger, deeper sites where it's more frequent to happen. Absolutely, Casey. This is definitely something where if you have a lot of people going to a particular URL and that URL is no longer there, you're wasting all that traffic, right? And as older, larger sites with more pages, this is so common. So having that to be able to check is really important. Phil Pratt says, sounds complicated. Does Hook do this for customers? Yes. Everything that I'm talking about, even though I'm going to give you all of it, I'm not going to hold anything back as long as I know it. Hook just does this for our customers. And I appreciate you asking that, Phil. You're awesome. All right, let's get back to it. We're going to present the screen. Entire screen here. I'm going to go back and forth every once in a while and talk through stuff with you guys if you're interested. So schema types for layouts, we're going to do none because we're not using this except for services. We definitely want to set that up for service. Actually, portfolio, I think we're going to set up as an article schema type. You just want to set it up as the closest thing to what it is. And for the ones you're not using, you don't need to do that. All right, save and continue. You guys know what the point of all this is. We're de-indexing thin and duplicate content, and you do have to kind of understand what you're looking at on the front end of the website, and that's why we're going and checking certain things just to make sure that what we're putting in here is correct. All right, now it looks like our basic set, we've got our basic setup for RankMath. So the next thing that we're going to do, I've got my checklist, my handy dandy checklist over here that should be in the description. So we installed RankMath. We went through settings on advanced. Make sure post types that shouldn't be in the sitemap aren't on the sitemap, which is what we did. So we're going to check that off. We're going to de-index thin and duplicate content, which is right in line with that. We're going to make sure that the sitemap is in Robots.txt. So let's go look for that. Sitemap settings. So this is the sitemap. So I'm just going to copy that and make sure it's in the Robots.txt. There should be somewhere in, I mean, the settings change every once in a while in RankMath and whatever plugin that you're using, but there should be a way to edit Robots.txt in here. So I'm going to look for that here. General settings. There it is. Edit Robots.txt. All right. So it is in there. Sitemap. Look at that. The sitemap is in Robots.txt. So I'm just going to save that. It's telling us a very important thing. Warning, your site's search engine visibility is set to hidden and settings reading. It's funny how many, it's not funny. It's actually sad how many sites I've seen that didn't turn this setting off, and it is really important. But you're on the back end of WordPress and there's alerts everywhere and it's hard to know what's important, right? Make sure you go to settings reading. I'm going to do that right now because of how important it is. Settings reading, or you could click that and make sure that this is de-indexed. So it says discourage search engines from indexing this site. And this will be on all types of website builders, on Squarespace, on Wix. There will be a setting like this. You need to make sure to uncheck it and save changes. We did set a social share image earlier. We're now made sure that discourage search engines from indexing this site is unchecked. Let's see. I'm going to do adding blog to permalinks. I'm kind of jumping around my checklist a little bit here. Excuse me. I just want to do some easy stuff first because I know some of this will take a second. We're going to do custom structure on permalinks. This is so that we can filter out blog traffic later, which is really nice. So I'm going to put blog right here, /blog, post name, and then we're going to make sure everything turns out by checking it on the front end. You want to do this early, and usually, like, you may want to not do this if you already have a site and it's all set up and it's been set up for a long time. Maybe don't change the custom structure, because you may have a lot of stuff indexed already and you would need to redirect everything from the previous URLs to the new URLs. So this is just for if you're setting this up on a new website for the first time. So for instance, let's say we went down to this blog post. I just want to see what this looks like. These are all like sample content from the theme. And look, now see, this is blog dash got a leak. Okay, so just to give a sense of like how this works and why we do this, it's now all these blogs. If we're in Google Analytics, we can see all the blog traffic. All right, so we're going to go back to the homepage on here. I'm going to check that off. We've added the blog to the permalink. Make sure the sitemap is in Robots.txt. We did that. We're going to connect to Google Analytics and Search Console. It is cool in RankMath now. They have the ability to set up your Google Analytics at least for you. So let's go check that out. This is a new feature that I think is really cool about. Things just keep on getting easier. It's funny, when I first started all this back in the day, I would literally manually set up databases on websites, and it was much more complicated. Now it's like one click and it's like boom, boom, boom. It's beautiful and incredible. Let's see, where is it? Analytics, probably under analytics, huh? If I have to set it up on RankMath account, I'm probably not going to do it, but I may do it because I set it in my description. One second. Analytics. If it's going to make me do this, I might just do it for the sake of this video. So it's like, and it really, really wants me to. All right, if there's a free plan. Select what? RankMath SEO. I think you need to select all of this. I think that it looks like it has to connect to RankMath SEO before it can set up your analytics accounts for you. So I like this. Obviously it'll be different if you already had an analytics account. Let's see. I think I might need to go over there and set that up under analytics. So that I can connect the two. Search Console looks like it already created it. That's incredible. Maybe it created this too. Man, this is so cool. I think it connected the Search Console account. So Search Console is really cool. It's like, it can tell you the exact keywords that somebody searched and then clicked through on your website. Analytics is a little bit more of the basic information. I am going to, let's see, add a new account here. Let's see. This might be need to be a separate video because it's been a second since I've added a site to analytics. If I'm real with you. Admin. Oh no, we can do this. Hook agency main. I'm going to do create new property. No, I want to create account. Once again, I'm just making sure it didn't create an account already. It didn't create an account. All right, so we need to create an account. Account name. Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. Account. I have no problem sharing all this information. Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. I'm going to make sure it's on my time. So it's medium business. Actually, this is a small business, not Hook. Wonder if there's searchable here. No, it just wants a category. So we're going to go home and garden next. Business objectives in this case would be to generate leads and to raise brand awareness and examine user behavior. Yeah. Next. Oops. It's going to make me scroll all the way down to the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. I accept. Signing my life away. And the main website is going to be at johnnytreeservice.com. Just need to make sure I spell this right. So now we've created this. We should be able to refresh the website on the other side and to install it that way because now we have this platform, right? So let's go ahead and refresh this page on the back end of our website and then take a look at what we've got here. Should be back here. There's a chance I have to do some other stuff. There it is, Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. And then it looks like you don't have to set up view, install analytics code, exclude logged in users. That might be smart. Analytics stats on the front. Nice. They have a little front end stats bar. This seems cool. But yeah, super cool. I love all the new settings that they've got in this plugin. So now we've connected the Google Analytics and Search Console to this. And it's good to check and test, obviously, like after you do this, make sure everything, that you're getting information. It looks like it's set up. It says no data received, but it should be going, and we might check back in a day or two on this to just make sure everything's good. Set the meta title and description for the homepage. So the last two things here are pretty important, right? Like we want to, let's just make sure we always make sure you uncheck this. So let's just make sure we uncheck that. All right, we unchecked it. Boom. It's half the battle. I'm going to stop here for a little just like chat with folks. Excuse the, how you guys doing? All right. Casey says, I prefer to use GTM in the theme global settings. I find it cleaner, and all the other added JavaScript and connectors add. Hey, that's a good call. Admin create account. Thanks, Casey. Crazy. Do you still have the old GA4 interface? I don't know how. Go into data collection and toggle all the toggles on and allow for signals to be on also. Casey, what a great add to this conversation. Helps across all Google products. Casey, shout out your company. I appreciate you being part of this. GA4 tip, go into data retention and change event data retention from 2 months to 14 months. Ooh, I'm definitely doing that. If not on this video, I'm doing that for sure soon. I did not know that that's the default on the new Google Analytics is changing right now. So it's very interesting. I'm going to check my other Facebook stuff just to see if there's any comments, anything like that. That's a good one. 2 months. 2 months is the default data retention. Wild. That is a low amount of time. I know that we do that for all of our clients, but I did not know that that is the default is only 2 months, which is wild. That's bad. We want to have data for a long time. Casey says they try and trick you. Hey, one thing I always note, I'm sure this will throttle my YouTube video because they own YouTube, but Google is not always on your side. That's the truth. Google is not always on your side. That's why it's important to think critically about these things and to do your best to, set the stuff up right. All right. So last bit here, we're going to talk through, or there's two more things. We're going to set a meta title for this homepage. And this is a real base. This is a basics course, right? We're each time we're going to tackle like 3 basics on these things. Okay. So one basic here is going to be to edit the page and to talk through meta title and description. So meta title and description is, let's look at our competitors real quick. Let's do Eau Claire tree service. So this is a meta title. Boom. Tree removal, stump removal. Eau Claire tree service services the Chippewa Valley with tree. So literally this is the meta description. And literally you could use very similar ones to a competitor. I'm just kind of like showing you guys what this is. And there are deeper ways to identify the key word. And I maybe want to touch on those briefly. If I go to, for instance, either SEMrush or Ahrefs, and I pop in some keywords just to try to see what kind of volume there is for stuff. Like, let's just say, first, let's say Eau Claire tree service. It's only 30 volume. And it's not a high volume keyword, but ultimately I know that there will be business if I rank for this term, right? So now I want to just look at like the difference between like tree care and tree service. So you can use any keyword explorer to try to see which one should I do. It looks like tree service has got more than care. Well, I already knew that because I named the company, the hypothetical company, Johnny Appleseed Tree Service, because I knew that there's 16,000 people searching around the country for tree service, and there's 8,000 people around the country searching for tree care. But you want to do some basic keyword research to identify which keyword you want to rank for. Ahrefs and SEMrush are those two things. And you may want to do some competitive analysis to look at this, right? Eau Claire tree service, Eau Claire tree removal. Like, do I want to try to rank for, let's look at tree removal. Tree removal. Because that might be a good keyword to put on the homepage, right? Wow, tree removal is 42,000. Now, I didn't want to be boxed into the brand name, but I definitely want tree removal to be part of the meta title because of the amount of searches. So I'm going to put tree removal pretty quick on my keyword or on my meta title. So the closer you have it up front to the front of the meta title, it's going to be good. So if you click this little red button here, I'm just going to make sure, okay, yep, I'm streaming the right thing. This little button, RankMath, what we're going to do is click that and then click this or edit snippet and then put in what we want. Now, you could easily just leave the brand name there as part of it, and this creates that automatically, the site name, and you could just go like this. You could go Eau Claire tree removal, Johnny Appleseed tree service. This is adequate. There's nothing wrong with this. I want to do one thing here. I think I want the separator, the average separator, because it's actually pixels. It's not the it's not characters. I want to change that separator to a vertical pipe. So we're going to do that real quick here on the back end, just because it's going to take up space every time we're making a meta title. So I'm going to go back to my settings and I'm going to change that to a vertical pipe. I want to make sure that even though there's some people that are like advanced in here, that I'm trying to make this for basics, like people that are just getting into SEO or just trying this for the first time. So excuse me if I do something advanced here and there. I would say you don't have to do this. I just like that separator being a pipe personally. So I might change that if I can do it quickly here. Titles and meta. So separator character, I'm going to change that to this so it's not taking up as much space. You see how it takes up a little bit more space if you have that? That means we can fit a little bit more keywords on average in here. We want good keywords in here, right? All right. So Eau Claire tree removal, Johnny Appleseed tree service. I might even put Wisconsin at the end just to give Google a little bit more context. And then, so in this case, we're making this the main keyword. This is also going to depend on how many service pages you have and which service you want to target the homepage for. For local businesses, I recommend going at the biggest keyword with the city name in it for your homepage. There are different people at different levels of their business that don't want to do that. I understand if you don't want to do that and you have a much more sophisticated business. I am targeting this for our new website, new local business. All right, description. You generally want to try to work the keyword in there, but this is a little bit more for click-through rate. So I'm going to try to like capture the attention right away. Got tree problems. Eau Claire's Premier Tree Removal Company, Johnny Appleseed Tree Service. Large or small? And you do get a little bit like truncated with your thoughts when you're doing this because we can only fit so much in there. But you do want to try to end with a call to action. So whether it's like read more now or get started or get that taken care of or something, you want to try to get them to click through though. So I'm going to see. I'm going to say read more maybe for now. I might come back to this, but in general, you want to like try to capture their attention. You want to give basic service information. You want to try to sell a little bit. Hey, we'll take care of them large or small, and then read more now or something like that, or get started. Really depends on what you want to push them towards. I would love if I could have the word now on there, but you really end up having to kind of like sacrifice a little bit for the space. So right now we're gonna make this the meta title. Exit out of that and press update. Now you can set a focus keyword. I don't want you to get too focused on this because it is not going to necessarily matter that much. It's just kind of nudges you in certain directions. I don't want people to get so wrapped up in focus keywords that they think it matters a ton. Eau Claire tree removal. Let's do it for our own fun and see how it goes. But just don't get too wrapped up in these scores because they're literally not that important. Really, we want to include this keyword a lot on the page, but it's not going to be one-to-one with everything that RankMath tells us to do all the time. All right, we've got one more major thing. We've set the meta title and the description for the homepage with the main location and the keyword we want to rank for. The last one is going to be to add 500 words of content with an H1 with the main keyword to the homepage. Like I said, this is just basic stuff. This is basic stuff. And I don't think that necessarily like we're covering every single detail in here, but if you go back and watch these videos or watch the future videos, each time we're going to be building on what we're doing and trying to get you a little bit more visibility, and trying to just I think SEO information should be free. And I know that it is, but I know that a lot of the people that follow me, I've never really walked them through every single little thing here on SEO. And this is what this is going to do. I'm essentially giving away the basics of SEO. Sandy Rawley's the best SEO expert. What's up, Sandy? Says, super awesome to see you on live. Thank you for sharing the SEO tips. Appreciate you being part of it. I'm just going to, for some reason, comments don't always come through on Facebook. So I'm going to continue to try to check Facebook over here to see if anyone is commenting, and excuse me if it's awkward. What are you guys up to today? How are you doing? Let's see. What else do we got? Nothing on that one. Let me look at the page live. This is live on our Facebook page, on my personal page, etc. So I'm just checking this stuff. And I'll read your comments too if you comment on here on any other platforms. Nope, nothing else. If you're watching this later, please comment below what you'd like to see in these videos. Comment below if something that we're sharing here was useful to you. Comment below if I did something wrong. I'm sure that there will be a ton of people over here doing that. But hey, I want to be useful to you all, and sometimes that's at the risk of somebody else saying that I'm doing it wrong. I know if you do these things for SEO, for your SEO, you'll be better off than if you didn't. And some of my information may be basic because I am trying to help the early business owner that can't afford our company. So the next thing, you want to make sure that there's 500 words plus on your homepage. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our homepage and we're going to kind of see how many words we have already. And if you look at this, you can see now, look at that up top. You can see the meta title, Eau Claire tree removal, Johnny Appleseed tree service, Wisconsin, right? So now we've got a meta title set, meta description set. We're going to go through this homepage and we're going to copy everything. I'm gonna see if what we can do is if we can copy all this and paste it somewhere, we can see how much content we have. Okay, I'm having a little trouble copying and pasting. One second. Let's skip the footer stuff. And then I did start the content here because I wanted to make a basic content section. So let's pop this into word count. Let's just Google word counter. Count words. Let's see how many words this is. Oh, that is not it. see, edit, copy. $498 words. How is that? Okay, some of this is not real though. So I'm gonna get rid of it. This is like meta title stuff or whatever. Not meta title, it's like headings and stuff. I want to at least, so if I've got this amount of words, I'm trying to get rid of the stuff that's not like real copy. I need at least another 180 words on here. So let's go to this. I'm going to press edit with Elementor in my case. Like I said, I'm not like a huge fan of these builders, but for the purposes of doing this all very quickly, builder can be a quick way to build it. The reason I don't like builders is because they make slow websites sometimes, and that is certainly going to inhibit us a little bit in this case, but let's hope it doesn't inhibit us too much. If you're a pro business, maybe you don't want to do, use a builder. I think ultimately at this point makes sense to do something completely custom so it's fast, clean coded, and better for SEO. In this case, I'm going to build out another 180 words, and we're going to just do it live, okay? This might be boring for a second, but I'm trying to give any other information here, right? And I might break it up with an image or two, right? So I am saying it's a simple process. We talk through your individual needs and discuss what the best course of action is. We'll survey the property and what needs to be done, marking trees and talking through our recommendations. We'll approve the work. We'll have you approve the work and get you on the schedule. I always recommend to our clients that we want to keep this super simple and make it the first 3 steps in the process of getting work done through you. You don't need to tell them every single thing that you're ever going to do. We might want to use headings and subheadings here. And so for instance, in this case, we're going to use H2. In this case, let's see, we want to have at least one H1 with the keyword in it, Eau Claire tree service. And then we've kind of realized that we want to go after tree removal on the homepage, Eau Claire tree removal. And then we are going to, and I am working it into the sub headlines too. So it is a little awkward, but I'm trying to find a way to make it both persuasive and work the keyword into sub headlines. The one H1 at least, some H2s. Then you need body copy. We want at least 500 words. Let's keep on going here. Why stop? So what other types of things might you include in your copy? Because it's like hard to get we need to do 160 more words now. Yeah, we can get to 160 more words. What about community focus and family? What about the basics of tree care? Like you could figure out what are the top questions. So let's do that. Let's go to Google and say tree removal near me, and like look at if there's people also ask. We can answer questions. How much does tree removal cost? What do you call, look at things that you could answer that are in addition to that. So how much does tree removal cost might be a question. It's spicy, but it does give them the topic that they want, right? What does tree removal cost in Wisconsin? Boom. We'll have to figure that out. The average cost of tree removal depends largely on the height of the tree, with a tall 75-foot tree costing an average of $1,500. So then I'm going to distill, for my purposes in this case, as a hypothetical business, I'm going to distill down. I'm going to try to do this as if it's real. So I'm going to try to distill that down. into kind of new information, right? I don't want to like 1,500 and 205. So generally, tree removal costs are based on height of the tree. I'm not going to read this all out loud. I'm just going to type for a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to be very boring. Height of the tree. And I'm only going to mention this because I'm going to work in a keyword here. You got to figure out how to work in keywords and basically synonyms throughout the content. So I'm talking about tree service, tree removal. I'm trying to cover the topic comprehensively, and we'll do that with a few more questions here. I'm saying tree removal companies in Eau Claire, Wisconsin will give you a deal if you're removing many trees at once. All right. Let's figure out what other questions are. How much does it cost? What do you call a person who plants trees? How do you calculate the cost of cutting down a tree? What time of the year is cheapest for tree removal? I kind of like that one. And I kind of like, do trees decrease property value? I'm trying to like make a case for working with our business, right? And then I'm also going to work in a little bit of what makes the company special. And in this case, the hypothetical company, one of the things that it's going to be around is that it's every time they take down a tree, they plant one tree. So I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to do these three questions. I'm going to do, do trees increase or decrease property value? I'm going to do, what is the cheapest time of the year to do tree removal? And then I'm going to do, what makes Johnny Appleseed tree service different than competitors, different than other tree removal companies in Eau Claire. All right. So let's do the H3. Well, healthy, well-maintained trees can certainly increase property value, but many overgrown trees or trees that are diseased or not well taken care of I'm basically just stealing key information from around the internet here. I'm not necessarily making it's different than what's already out there, but I do want it to be completely custom content every time. And I kind of want to mix in an image here. So I want to give you options. You certainly could use AI to generate something. And if you haven't done that before, I want to share an opportunity for that. Like, so if you have the premium GPT, I don't know if this is Chat GPT. I'm not sure if this is the case everywhere, but you can say like, can you make an image of a man trimming a tree's branches with a popular landmark of Eau Claire, Wisconsin in the background. I mean, this could go badly, but this is an option. I tend to want to, I'm going to pull this out to the side for a second. I tend to generally use stock images rather than this, unless I have real images of that person or like, you know, real images from the company. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these. Actually, you know what? I might use this too, because I like the idea of like talking about planting. So I'm going to license this and license this from Adobe stock. Watch out just getting images from around the web without licensing them. One of the things is, though, you want to bring it down to size. So whether you use Photoshop or you use Canva or something like that, we want to export for web or just bring down the size to a more like a web-friendly size. So I'm going to bring this down like to 10% of its size. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go save, and I'm going to put keywords in the image title here. So I'm going to say Eau Claire Tree Removal Company, Wisconsin, man chopping branches, right? So I'm trying to describe the image a little bit, and I'm trying to put keywords in there. So then if we added this, we might put it here at media, upload file, select files, grab the image that we had, Eau Claire Tree Removal Company, Wisconsin, man chopping branches for tree service company. Boom. I might want to make, use the full image here and center it. In my case, feel free to do whatever you want. What is the cheapest time of the year to do tree removal? Often, because of seasonality, companies, tree service companies in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. This, you know what? I might be a little heavy-handed with it for the purposes of this, but you do want to work it in occasionally, right? So, but tree service companies in the Midwest, I could say Wisconsin, in the Midwest, they have lulls in business in the winter. Because of that, they may offer discounts or have cheaper rates. What makes Johnny Appleseed Tree Service different than other tree removal companies in Eau Claire? And that is huge. Let's do, there we go. And I am going to both have an image here. Once again, we're going to take that picture that we got. Let's see. Did it download? Just want to make sure I got that. Okay. So I want to talk about planting a tree because essentially we're going to offset the, it hurts to take down trees every once in a while. If I am a homeowner, maybe I feel that way, right? So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to talk about the fact that we're planting a tree for every tree we trim. That's going to be our business differentiator. This one's starting a little smaller, so we're going to go 20. Planting trees. Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Arborist. So that's like a synonym, right, of tree service, arborist. So I'm going to include that in my file name, as I mentioned, and in the alt text. So as you can see, I'm naming the files with the keywords in them, and I am putting them in the alt text. Planting trees in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Arborist taking care of tree. Digging in the dirt. So now we want to make sure that that is the full size center, full size update. Because of our commitment to our homeowners, and they feel good about taking down trees on their property, we are making, we actually plant one tree for every tree that we will remove on every job that we do. This is part of the mission of Johnny Appleseed Tree Service to continue the what am I saying here? This is part of the mission to continue be part of giving back I feel like I gotta soften this a little bit. It's part of the mission of Johnny Tree Apple Service and serving our community. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, so we've got content, right? Boom. This has got to be at least 500 words, but we will check it real quick here. As you guys can see, I kind of spent some time just getting this basically in place in between videos. And I obviously I'm skipping over some of the super busy work. I know writing content on a live is kind of weird, but I'm trying to show you that essentially you just need to answer questions. You need to make sure that there's 500 words on every single key selling page, and definitely start with your home page. So now that we've done that, I'm going to leave the word counter up over here. We're going to go over to copy and paste this content. We're going to see how much content we've got. We got to be at 500 words, right? 745. Boom. We did it, y'all. Isn't that boring? Well, that is one of those basics. So we checked off everything on our list. We made sure that our homepage had 500 words of content with an H1 or a heading 1 tag with the main keyword. And you need to know what your main keyword is to do that. So I want you all to know it's it's not hard, but it's the boring work that leads to properly optimized website. And I want you to know there's a lot more where that came from. So we're going to continue this series. We're going to probably do videos on, making location pages, making service pages, how to write a properly optimized blog post. My favorite, the first 3 to 5 ways to get links. We'll probably talk about a lot of other things in SEO. Each time we're going to tackle like 2 or 3 kind of key things on getting a properly optimized website for Google and other search engines. I would love it if you guys participate occasionally in here. And I appreciate Casey Cornell today, was really involved. I really appreciate your shares. Some of my stuff might be a little bit basic sometimes because I'm just trying to get people to do these things. I want you to do these things if you're early. Casey says, SEO tip, install marketing syrup. It will tell you your word count and headings so you can see if your on-page structure is good. Thank you, Casey. And thank you all for being part of the video. Jim Kunkel, what's up? Codings Talk. I think that one's from YouTube. Jim Kunkel, thank you for always commenting. Thanks for always being awesome. And join us next time. We're going to be doing this Home Services SEO Basics course over the next couple months, and I hope it's useful to y'all. We'll always have this YouTube playlist to go back to if you just want to do your own SEO. I respect it. I want to help small business owners. We want to be of service to y'all. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.
Oh, better leads. HookAgency.com. Smart contractors hire specialized team. Rank high on Google, hook better leads. HookAgency.com.